Finally, see, start. The union budget is built on expectation that people will spend more and drive growth. The union budget 2025-2026 seeks to address specific issues plugging the Indian economy, flagging domestic demand, sluggish private investment, and tepid wage growth, leading to a slowdown in meaningful GDP growth. A closer look at the priorities and allocations would reveal that the approach is cautious without the assurance that they would indeed address the underlying problems. The government has seized upon a double edged sword, substantial tax breaks to boost consumption and to drive growth, leaving it with little room to expend public spending on capital expenditure, which could have been another useful lever to achieve the same end, while putting more money in the hands of the middle class seems the right thing to do in a time of unrelating inflation. The focus continues to be on fiscal consolidation with a targeted fiscal deficit of 4.4% of GDP in financial year 2026, coming down from 4.8% in financial year 2025. It has sought to project augmented direct tax receipts despite providing tax rebate incentives for a large segment of the salaried direct taxpayers. The expectation is that there would be better compliance with a greater use of technology, which was useful in increasing the direct tax revenue from a budgeted estimate of rupees 11 crore to 12 crore in financial year 2025. The highlight of the budget remains the move to ensure that taxpayers earning up to rupees 12 lakhs, excluding special rate income such as capital gains, have no tax liability due to the rebate provided. This is meant to boost demand among the salaried middle and lower middle class sections who get substantial benefits in the form of tax savings and could be expected to spur consumption. The economic survey had pointed to mixed trends in urban demand, unlike sustained consumption growth in rural areas through this year, and this move clearly targets the problem. Also, there has been a clamor for relief from among direct tax paying middle class sections who have had to cope with both rising inflation and indirect goods and service tax payments that squeezed their incomes. The budget addresses this issue in good measure with tax incentives. In the way, this is also a response to resentment among the government's own sympathizers and can be read as a way to mitigate any loss of political support. While the salaried middle class sections would indeed benefit, and welcome the move. It is not clear if this measure alone will stimulate demand to the extent of creating a strong virtuous economic growth cycle. This is because private investment in the economy has been stagnant, with the corporate sector showing little inclination to step it up. The budget continues the trend of incentivizing the corporate sector to do so. Revenues from corporate tax as a share of gross tax collections are estimated to fall slightly from 25.4% in financial year 2025 to 25.3% in financial year 2026. But considering that corporates have shown little inclination to increase investment despite low corporate tax rates and increased profitability, the government should have adopted an alternative approach, perhaps gradually phasing out the tax incentives step